I'm here with Julian. We've just come back, witnessed what was a pretty good game. Arsenal ran out winners in the end, 3-2. But, fair play to Palace to give it a go. But anyway, I don't want to take over this. Your call. What do you think of the game?
Well, I kind of half agree with you. It was half a good game.
Okay.
First half, I wasn't too enthralled with the fact that after a few minutes, what did we see? Kivior, weak, very, very weak. I mean, to me, football is a very physical game, and he just got muscled off the ball. He had a few different opportunities to kind of get the ball away. And as a defender, it is easier to just knock the ball away than it is for an attacker to get it under control and put the ball in the back of the net. So I was disappointed with that. And as soon as they go 1-0 up, the game plan is more difficult. You go out, and what happens is they were never going to come and attack us anyway. But as soon as they go 1-0 up, you're up against it. And that first half, for me, it was pretty dismal. So I'd have to disagree with you by saying it was a great game.
I said it was a good game, but I'm talking about overall. We saw goals, we saw ebb and flow. But listen, it's your call. I mean, I'm just saying that overall, I thought it was a good game in terms of goals. We saw Jesus get a hat-trick. Actually, let's start with him because he's obviously the story of tonight's game. What do you think of his performance tonight?
Well, it was magical because one thing I will agree with you on, when you think back of a good game, you're not really studying, or most fans, and I have to say, including myself, are not looking back particularly at the technicalities and strategies of the performance. You're looking at the result. And what we've got tonight is we've got a player that scored a hat-trick, and it doesn't really matter what he did for 90 minutes in a game. The fact that he put the ball in the back of the net 3 times as a striker or anywhere on the pitch, even if he'd been a goalkeeper and he'd scored 3 times, you'd have to say he's the man of the match because he did what the hardest thing in football is actually put the ball in the back of the net. So fair play to him.
And it's especially poignant because he'd gone so long without goal. He did score a few weeks back, to be fair, but his run of goals, I think it's like previous to today, it was like 1 goal in 26 games. So for him to get a hat-trick tonight, and let's face it, it was an important game. We were 1-0 down.
Yeah, well, they're all important all important goals because we only won the game by 1 goal. So you could say every single one of them was absolutely crucial. But getting back into the game, we had the momentum because what happened is, all right, first half, and it was polarised, absolutely polarised. Complete game of 2 halves. But I was walking around at half time, and I heard the guy saying, "That was shit. Arsenal with this, Arsenal with that. Arteta out." All the negativity was just flowing. You could hear it. People were absolutely down. It was an abysmal performance as far as people are concerned because we were losing 1-0. Yeah. The same guy that was ranting and raving, I hear as soon as we put the first ball in the back of the net, is he singing Arsenal were the greatest team the world has ever seen. Now, how does that work? How can you go from being totally abysmal in one half to the greatest team the world has ever seen in the second half?
I would describe that as the typical emotions of a football fan. As football fans, we wear our heart on our sleeves, and people, they can get a bit carried away in the midst of the moment. But you know what? I thought in the first half, we had a lot of the ball, which is what we thought was going to happen. But it's going a bit slow, wasn't it? Some of the slow, we was in the ground. I was sat next to you. You could hear the frustrations from people around us. They were saying, let's, up the tempo, quicken the passing. Some of the running off the ball wasn't quite right. But, the one person that was calling for the ball a lot, even in the first half, was Jesus. To be honest, I thought he made some good runs. We quickened it up in the second half. Martin Odegaard came on. I thought he had a really good game. And things started to work.
Yeah, we're just sort of covering the first thing you said about the possession. I think we had 78% of the possession in the first half. Now, years ago, I would look at it as a naive football fan and think if you've got a lot of possession, then you're going to win the game. And it's all about possession. But one thing that Arteta seems to be he's obsessed with possession because having that much possession, but they didn't really create much. Yeah. And it was exactly as you said, it's not about the possession. It's about what you do with the ball and how quickly you do it. And being obsessed with possession, you're just holding on to it and you're slowing it up because the easiest way to keep possession is to play a slow, methodical game. But it doesn't get you anywhere. Tapping it around in your own half and going backwards, forwards, sideways, you're not going to win the game like that. What you're going to win the game is if you penetrate.
That's right.
And when they made the change, and everyone's been raving about Nwaneri, we shouldn't forget his age, but you've taken him off. And another criticism of Arteta was that from the Everton game was that they felt that they should have kept Nwaneri on and Odegaard. So why take Odegaard off and Nwaneri on? Why don't you keep them both together? Well, Arteta doesn't listen. And it's a good thing he doesn't listen because he obviously knows better. Yeah. Because he did exactly that. He swapped them over and it was a completely different game. The ball was pressed a lot quicker. We got the ball forward quicker and we started scoring goals. Now, we got a forward on the pitch who was lacking confidence. But this is another thing. You've got to say that he's fickle as well because Jesus obviously has the skills. He's got the natural ability to score those goals. So what was stopping him? A lack of confidence. But surely when you've got that kind of ability, if I had anything like that ability, I would be the best player in the world. But it's obviously something holding him back. It's not work rate. The guy works hard. One thing I love about this team is we don't have any ozels in it that just want to waltz around, the cowards when it comes to a challenge. They all try really hard. So the only thing that can be holding a player like Jesus back is a lack of confidence in his own abilities. But all he's got to do, if he feels bad one day, just go replay that hat-trick or have that ball on his shelf, get him all signed and just look at that ball and realise that I am that good.
No, you're right. I mean, that was the biggest takeaway from the game today for me. Jesus getting those goals. They're good finishes as well, by the way, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm really pleased for him. He looked sharp all game. He was looking for the ball, looking for work, as they say. And, yeah, I was really pleased for him, really made up for him that he got the hat-trick. And as I said earlier, I thought Martin Odegaard coming on at half-time, that really did lift us. I think he quickened the tempo. He was looking to make things happen. Some of the through balls he was playing, some of them didn't quite come off at first, but as the game wore on, he was a big factor.
Yeah, he was, but he wasn't the only one. And people forget, and they're drawn to goals. If you score a goal or you create an assist, suddenly you've had a good game, which is good. You've contributed to Arsenal winning. But then there was a situation, I think, in the first half. Sterling, probably after about 10 minutes, puts a great ball in and Trossard fires it into the clock end. Yeah. Now, had Trossard put the ball in the back of the net, which he really should have done from that kind of position, he was in the right space. Sterling found him with a great ball. Everyone would be raving, Sterling's had a good game. The same with the Tierney at the beginning of the second half. Tierney, brilliant move down the left-hand side. Tierney plays the ball in. Sterling, I thought, did well. Brilliant save with the goalkeeper. Slightly unlucky with the rebound. Again, you could have had Sterling with an assist and a goal very easily, but he doesn't get that. So again, he's like, probably people are starting knocking him. And I thought,
what did you think of Sterling's performance? Because I thought in the first half he actually looked quite bright. As you said, he set up. Who was it? Trossard, yeah.
He set up Trossard.
And that didn't quite come off for a goal. It should have been. But I thought overall, in the first half and in the first part of the second half, he looked okay. He looked like he tired a little bit. And then he got taken off, which I think was the right decision. But I think overall, what do you think of Sterling?
Well, I thought he contributed well. And I thought on another day, he could have had an assist and a goal. And as regards taking him off, it was the right decision, not necessarily because he was playing badly, because what they did, they brought on the wonder kid, and he is still a kid, isn't he?
Yeah. I thought the substitution came at the right time. But yeah, I think Sterling, he did okay. There's no complaints there. Right, so we're through to the next round, quarterfinals. Draw, as we speaking, is not yet happened. But any preferences you would like?
For me, looking at who's Liverpool just gone through, haven't they? Yeah. So you've got a choice of Liverpool, you've got a choice of Newcastle, and you've got a choice of Man United or Tottenham. Now, there's one team out of that lot that is different from the rest, and it's the team that's in London that happens to be 20 minutes from my house. Yeah. So my preference is not to be sitting on the motorway, the M1. I definitely don't want to be going to Newcastle on a Wednesday night. Yeah. Not a great fan of Liverpool on a Wednesday or a Tuesday night, and I definitely don't want to go to Manchester. So for me, two reasons. I don't want to go that far, although I really want to go to the game, and I don't want to dismiss the opportunity to go, but I don't want to go that far if I've got a choice. But the second thing is it reminds me of 87. when we won the League Cup. Won the first major trophy I ever saw.
Go on, tell us.
Well, we beat Spurs in the semi-final, and then we beat Liverpool in the final.
Well, I'll take that if that happens again, that deja vu. But yeah, well done. Thank you very much.